Yep, another great night. Great night out for a walk and a cigar. What should I talk about tonight here? Well, since my thing is history, I really have gotten into history, especially hidden history, hidden American history, hidden Western history. I think this should also be brought to note. Something I discovered here fairly recently from actually a guy I follow on Facebook, indigenous or Amerindian person, a conservative no less, recently converted conservative. So therefore I like him there for sure. Something that I wasn't aware of, but I looked into it and I found out about it was, the Buffalo Soldiers. I never even had heard of them, and they made up a good part of the U.S. Army following the Civil War, and they were black, like Negro, black. They were recently. Many of them were recently. Okay, this was during the period from right after this, following the Civil War to about 1900, or right just before the First World War. That was the era of the Buffalo Soldiers. And they made up a good portion of the military. I'm not good with statistics, really. But they made up a pretty good portion of the military. How about that? And, well, I mean, here was the thing. And, when I was looking into this at first, I thought maybe it was possibly that, these guys had to earn their freedom or something, or had to, they were kind of coerced into doing this, but they weren't. But the fact of the matter is they were recently freed ex-slaves who, really having no place to go, kind of found themselves adrift and not having a place, so they found the U.S. military would accept them. And they were kind of like mercenaries, And here's the thing, and this is what kind of upsets me too about this cultural Marxism and how they include the, kind of like the blacks, the Negro blacks and the American Indians are in the same boat. They're both oppressed groups and were being beat down mercilessly by the white man. And I'm finding out that, this is just not at all the way it was. These Buffalo Soldiers joined in the raids and in kind of helped the U.S. government with the Indian problem. The growing Indian problem. Now they killed others. They went after renegade outlaws and they targeted other people. Other kind of how should I say it? The other unwelcome members of society, outlaws, renegades. Not just Indians, but that was a big part of their assignment and, you know, thing they had to do was take care of that Indian problem, you know. And subsequently they killed many American Indians during that time, you know, 1866 to 1900. You know, they killed a great deal of Native American tribes, people, warred with them and killed them, raided their land. So again, kind of goes against that, throws a real wrench in that cultural Marxist narrative of blacks and Indians being in the same boat, when actually Buffalo Soldiers were in the military fighting them and killing them and taking and raiding their land and property, you know. And these guys did it voluntarily, you know. Granted, they didn't have a place to go and they were adrift, but they still played a role in taking away the Native Americans, you know, rights to ownership and tribal sovereignty and all that. The black man, you know. So again, this again, it's just another thing to kind of take note of. And again, I wasn't aware of this. Now, there's a lot of things I'm not aware of, and I really like that. And I thought you know, whoever gets to listen to this will also be enlightened and informed on a piece of kind of hidden history, you know. And that, and like I said, you know, we found out that there were Indian tribes who owned black slaves and didn't let them go even after the Civil War, because they were, you know, not part of the, you know, they were still sovereign lands and whatnot. So again, and to you know, when it comes to the Wounded Knee Massacre, which was a very unfortunate thing, we also note that the Buffalo Soldiers played a role in that too. So again, the more you know. The more you know. And that's about all I can say on this. Because at the end of the day,